Hello, guys. David here, Central Cal Piper. Happy Thursday. Thought I would just do a quick video response to Piper Dave's questions on why we smoke a pipe or why I smoke a pipe. First, housekeeping. I have here a Dr. Graybo. No, actually, I don't. I have a Masterson. Looks like it says a freehand, Masterson freehand pipe here. This pipe belonged to my late father-in-law, Haskell Peaker. I'm smoking in it some Captain Black this morning. Sometimes it's just good to go back to the basics. But I just finished watching Piper Dave's video, and he asked the question, or he posted a video why he smokes a pipe. And so he got me thinking about that. Many of you have heard my story about, my first foray into pipe smoking. I was in my early 30s. At that point, I grew up loving old-fashioned things, right? Old movies, old music. From the time when I was a little boy, I really always liked black and white movies, the old classics. To me, they just represented something, a better time. Even when I was a kid, I realized there was something special about those old, the old days, as it were, as we called them back then. And so I always enjoyed the movies, the music, and then in those old movies, there was a lot of pipe smoking. So I always thought it was just cool. I always thought it was very unique, and it was something that wasn't done anymore. So I mentioned before that I grew up in a very conservative church where certain things were frowned upon. In fact, certain things just weren't done. If when I was a boy, if you smoked or drank or anything like that, you weren't allowed to be any type of leadership in the church, and sometimes for good reason, especially the drinking part. But I had an aunt that had smoked cigarettes, and she was struggling, trying to quit, but her and her husband wanted to teach like a young adult, young married Sunday school class, and they were told by the pastor at that time that that wasn't going to happen because she was a cigarette smoker. So she didn't do it. Um, so I'm just saying this to say that times have changed. I go to the same church basically. Grew up in the church. It's not so much like that anymore. They don't preach from the pulpit about smoking. Of course, everyone knows that excessive drinking is bad. I don't personally drink because I've had too many experiences with uncles and other people who have been drunk, and I just was not impressed with their behavior. So that's something that when I was a child or a young boy decided that's not something I wanted to do. Um, Now I've tasted alcohol, um, and I don't think there's anything wrong or sinful about enjoying alcohol responsibly any more than food or tobacco. Food in moderation is great, but in excess, it's just as bad as smoking or drinking in excess. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here. Sorry about that. So the reasons that I enjoy smoking a pipe, I guess first of all, I thought, in my late 20s, early 30s, it was just a unique thing. And I always enjoyed trying to do unique things. Back then, in the late 80s, smoking, obviously, a pipe was a lot more popular than it is now. Even back then, there were still some remnants of pipe smoking. You could still, walk through your Thrifty's drugstore down my favorite aisle, which was the pipe tobacco aisle. You see the large bags of their in-store tobacco blends, Thrifties. They sold pipes. Dr. Grabo, I'm not even sure. They had lots of pipes. I remember seeing and loving the way that they looked, loving the way the pipes tobacco smelled. I just thought it was a really cool thing, very unique. I mean, I didn't know of anyone that smoked a pipe back then, but I did know that they had that aisle. It was my favorite one in Thrifties to walk down as a child. So in the back of my mind, I always thought how cool it would be to smoke a pipe, just because they represented something, I guess, from the past, a dying thing that didn't happen very much anymore. And so I kind of lumped pipe smoking in with old movies, old music, and was just attracted to it at that point. So my first reason, I guess, for smoking a pipe was that it was a heralding of times past, better times, at least in my mind. I put that aside when I was younger because it wasn't something I felt comfortable doing. Um, we had small kids and my wife, and I just didn't feel like it was something that I could spend much time doing. So I kept my pipes. I had a couple of pipes that I bought, cheap basket pipes from the liquor store, close to where I am now, actually, not far at least. When I first got them, um, I had no idea how to smoke a pipe or what tobaccos to buy. I don't remember even what tobacco that I bought back then. I have a feeling it was probably Captain Black. It was easy to get a hold of, and so I think that's probably what I bought. So, first couple of pipes I bought when I worked a job as a water patrol. California has always been, short on water, so there's a local water company here, still around, and they hired me as a water patrol. It was just a seasonal job, and you started in the spring, went through the summer. It was a split shift, so you start at 6 a.m., worked until 10, then went on again at 4 o'clock and worked until 8, which at that time worked for us. But that's when I bought the first basket pipes. I'd buy them, kind of sneak around, smoke them because I didn't want to get in trouble from my job. So there was a little office that we'd report to in the evening, and no one was in there. So I'd smoke my pipe around the office and in the truck when I was driving a little bit, as much as I could, without being spotted. But I just kind of put them away at that point. It wasn't a good time to take up pipe smoking. And I thought about it through the years. And then I've told you before, my son Spencer bought me a basket pipe, which kind of started me off on my pipe journey a few years ago. So my first reason for smoking a pipe was just the uniqueness of it. I guess the call back to history. And as I've gotten older, though, I think part of me, um, I'm not a rebellious person, or at least not outwardly rebellious, but I am very inwardly rebellious. In fact, my wife would say I'm a very rebellious person, which is kind of funny because my personality doesn't seem like that, but I am a very rebellious person. Um, if I'm told something should be done a certain way, and if I think it's silly, ridiculous, then my natural instinct is to fight against that. I guess pipe smoking fits in there kind of because it's something we're told we shouldn't be doing, but it's something I enjoy doing. It relaxes me, it calms me. I love the room note when I smoke my pipe. I like the way it tastes. I like all the different tobaccos. I mean, I've always been into things like coffee because coffee was always interesting to me because of all the different places that it comes from and all the different distinct characteristics. Well, tobacco is the same way, as you know. Depending upon where it's sourced, it has different characteristics, different varieties. So, um, but again, like Dave said, it's a little bit of in your face type thing as far as I'm going to smoke my pipe, whether it's acceptable or not publicly. I think that, as he mentioned, especially now, you could pull up to a stop sign and you could smell marijuana almost at every intersection, which is ridiculous. People smoking marijuana, and it seems to be perfectly acceptable. People don't seem to have a problem with it. I do. Uh, it's a drug. I'm totally against it. Um, but it's accepted publicly like it's never been before. Pipe tobacco, though, is not a pipe smoking. I get looks from people because in the morning, after I drop my wife off at her job, I normally get my pipe out, light it, and drive to work. It's only about a 15-minute drive, but it's a nice little time to listen to some music and smoke my pipe on the way with my windows cracked and all that, or down sometimes if the weather's nice to get all that fresh air. I pull up to the parking lot, park my car. If I've got any time, I'll sit there with the windows down, smoke my pipe, and finish it for the morning. Then I'll usually come out of my break, usually about 9:30 a.m. Light the same pipe again and enjoy it for 15 or 20 minutes while listening to music or just thinking. And it's really a nice break for the day. I do the same thing at lunch. Go out to my car 11:30. Sometimes I'll take a drive, smoking my pipe, which is a nice escape. I used to never take breaks from work. I would just remain at my cubicle. I worked through my breaks. At lunch, I'd normally go in and call my wife for a few minutes at lunchtime and go back to my desk and eat my lunch while working. And I would just continue working until 4 p.m., which is when I got off. So I guess smoking a pipe really makes me want to take my breaks at work because it's something to look forward to. Even if it's just smoking my pipe for a few minutes in my car, it's a chance to get away from that. So I smoke my pipe then for relaxation purposes as well. So a couple things. It's a harkening back to days of old. It's a tradition that's been going on for a long, long time, and I enjoy that connection. It's a little bit of a rebellious streak in me to smoke a pipe, and it helps me relax. So those are my reasons for smoking a pipe, Dave. And thanks for the springboard. I enjoyed your video, enjoy all your videos. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm working from home today, which is always my favorite day of the week, Thursdays. Enjoy it. So God bless y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon.